In ancient Greece, there lived a mortal so arrogant that he believed he was worthy of a place among the gods themselves. Let me tell you the tale of Bellerophon, the famed rider of Pegasus, the hero who defied Olympus and dared to call himself the equal of the immortals. Long ago, Bellerophon was a hero favored by the gods. He had tamed the winged horse Pegasus and slain the fire-breathing Chimera, earning glory and the envy of kings. But like many mortals touched by greatness, hubris began to stir in his heart. One fateful day, believing himself worthy of Olympus itself, Bellerophon mounted Pegasus and soared toward the heavens, determined to take his place among the gods. Higher and higher he rose, but the gods do not suffer mortal pride. Zeus, watching from his throne, grew furious at the hero's arrogance. With a flick of his hand, the king of the gods sent a gadfly to sting Pegasus. The mighty steed bucked and threw Bellerophon from the skies. The hero tumbled helplessly back to earth, crashing into the plains below, but Pegasus flew unharmed to Olympus, where Zeus welcomed him among the gods. The winged horse became the bearer of Zeus's thunderbolts, serving as his loyal steed whenever he needed to ride across the heavens or deliver his storms. Remember the cloud from Greek mythology, the one shaped like a woman who gave birth to the first centaur and the twins who had to be rescued by a flying golden ram? Long ago, high upon Mount Olympus, Zeus shaped a cloud into the form of his wife, Hera. He named her Nephele, but she was born for a dark purpose. When the mortal king Ixion dared desire Hera, Zeus sent Nephele in her likeness. Ixion was deceived, and from their unholy union sprang the wild, untamed race of centaurs, half man, half horse. But Nephele's story did not end there. The gods gave her to a mortal king, Athamas, and together they had two children, brave Phrixus and gentle Helle. But when Athamas betrayed her for a queen named Ino, Nephele vanished into the clouds. Ino, jealous and cruel, plotted to destroy Nephele's children. As danger closed in, Nephele sent a magical golden ram from the heavens to save them. The children clung to its shimmering wool and soared into the sky. But tragedy struck. Hell lost her grip and tumbled into the sea below, forever giving her name to the Hellespont. Phrixus reached the distant land of Colchis. There he sacrificed the sacred ram to Zeus in gratitude, and its prized golden fleece was hung in a sacred grove, a treasure that would one day spark one of the greatest quests in Greek mythology. Zeus, the mighty Greek god, fathered many children, but there was one child whom he despised above all the rest. They called him Ares, the god of war. Born to Zeus and Hera, but from the moment he opened his eyes, Zeus felt no warmth for him. To the king of the gods, Ares wasn't a warrior of justice like Athena. He was chaos incarnate, bloodthirsty, reckless, driven not by strategy but by fury. Ares lived for the battlefield. The clash of swords, the cries of the dying, these were the music of his soul. But while men feared him, the gods despised him. Even in the great Trojan War, Ares fought for the Trojans, only to be struck down by the mortal Diomedes with Athena's aid, a humiliation no god could forget. His heart, though, held one weakness, Aphrodite. The goddess of love became his secret passion. Together they conceived Phobos and Deimos, fear and terror, who followed their father into every battle. But their affair was exposed by Aphrodite's husband, Hephaestus, who trapped them in a golden net, shaming them before all Olympus. In the end, Ares was a god forever searching for his father's approval, yet destined never to find it. Let me tell you an ancient Greek myth, a tale of what befalls any mortal bold enough to insult the mighty god Apollo. Long ago, Pan, the untamed god of shepherds and forests, with the upper body of a man and the legs and hooves of a goat, proudly claimed that his rustic reed pipes played music far sweeter than even the divine melodies of Apollo, the god of music and poetry. The claim echoed through the hills all the way to Olympus. When Apollo heard this, he descended from the heavens to challenge Pan. A contest was held on the slopes of Mount Tmolus. The mountain god himself would be the judge. First, Pan played. His pipes sang of mountain winds, bleating goats, and the raw spirit of nature. Then Apollo raised his golden lyre. With each note, time seemed to stop. Birds held their breath. Streams quieted. Tmolus declared Apollo the victor without hesitation. But from the crowd, one voice dared to disagree. King Midas, who claimed Pan's music was better. Apollo smiled and said, "Then let your ears match your taste." And just like that, Midas sprouted the long, twitching ears of a donkey. Ashamed of his cursed ears, King Midas wrapped his head in a turban and wore it for the rest of his life. How did Zeus become the mighty ruler ruler of Mount Olympus, king of all the Greek gods. Long ago, before the gods we know ruled the heavens, the world was under the reign of Cronus, a mighty titan who feared a terrible prophecy that one of his children would rise and overthrow him. So one by one, as his wife Rhea bore them, Cronus swallowed his own children whole. But when Zeus was born, Rhea could bear it no longer. She wrapped a stone in swaddling cloth and gave it to Cronus instead, hiding the infant Zeus in a cave on the sacred island of Crete. There, hidden from his father's fury, Zeus was raised by nymphs and fed by the divine goat Amalthea, growing strong in secret. When he came of age, Zeus returned, not as a boy, but as a storm. He tricked Cronus into vomiting up his brothers and sisters, Poseidon, Hades, Hestia, Demeter, and Hera. Together they waged war against the Titans in a mighty clash called the Titanomachy, a battle that shook the very bones of the earth. With thunderbolts forged by the Cyclopes and the earth-splitting strikes of his allies, Zeus led the gods to victory. The Titans were cast down into Tartarus, and Zeus took his place on the highest throne atop Mount Olympus, ruler of sky, storm, and all the gods.